Hello, amigos. Welcome, one. Welcome, all. It's time for another exciting edition of the show with no name. So hold on to your hats.
T minus 10,
9,
8,
8,
7,
6.
6, 5,
You know the rest.
4, 3, 2, 1.
We got this, folks. We got this.
Ignition. Liftoff. Liftoff. 30 minutes after the hour.
Oh, yeah. Come on. Yeah.
Get ready. Hold on to your hats. Strap on your seatbelt. Fasten your seatbelts. Hold on to your hats. Get ready for the ride of your life. The show with no name time. On Vaughn Radio. It's a show with no name. It's the show. Let's go.
That's right. That's right, amigos. Welcome, one. Welcome, all, to another exciting edition of your interactive English show on Vaughn Radio. I know you guys were in good hands with my buddy Fitz. I'm sure of it. I'm sure you were in the greatest of hands. And if you weren't tuned in, I don't know why. Fitz is awesome. He's the guy who trained me. He trained Kai. Fitz trained us all. So you can tune in and spend an hour with him, a master class with Fitz right before this show. His program is called No Excuses, but don't be fooled. It's not just the name of the program. That's Fitz's philosophy. All right, folks. Well, you can tune into Fitz's show every day. If you can't tune in live, remember, you can listen wherever you get podcasts. That's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iVox, and I think there are even a few more. But just search for the show that you want to find, or you can search for the station Vaughn Radio. And what I recommend always is downloading our free app, because if you download the free app, then you'll have access to all our amazing programs at your fingertips whenever you need them or want them. And you know what I think that is? I think that is magical. And folks, we're going to start off with a little encouragement, un poco de aliento. Well, you guys have been doing so well. So I'm going to, this is again, leftover applause from yesterday. You're really, all of you collectively doing a wonderful job. I am sincerely, truly, and sincerely honored to be your teacher. So thank you, guys, and keep up the great work. We're going to have a lot of fun today. We're going to play like we always do. We're going to be challenged. And speaking of challenges, if you haven't marked your calendar yet, folks, the day is approaching. Se acerca el día. It's Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, hosted by the one and only Richard Vaughn. Psst. Hey there. It's time for another Vaughn Radio Trivia Night. Do you know who's hosting this time? I'll give you a clue. He's the Texan who started this company.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I think you know me. And I know a lot of you.
Did you say Richard Vaughn? Right on. Join us February 1st at Roll Madrid, Calle de Amaniel 23, for another Vaughn Radio Trivia Night, hosted by the one and only Richard Vaughn. It's gonna be tons of fun. That's right, folks. Don't miss it. It's going to be tons of fun. Divertidísimo, I think you say. So we learned mismísimo, divertidísimo. We're learning all the ísimos, it seems. Well, folks, if you love challenges, I'll see you there. We're all going to be there. We're not going to let Richard down. No le vamos a decepcionar. We're all going to be there on February 1st for that trivia. And again, if you love challenges, then you're going to love today's pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Yeah. Let's go. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. Come on. Pop quiz. Pop quiz. That's right, folks. It's our pop quiz, and today I am plucking it. That's right. To pluck is what you do to feathers. If you have chickens, I don't know if any of you have chickens on your ranch, but if you do, the pluck, you pluck your eyebrows as well. Well, the hair, right? So pluck. I plucked this right out of my third book. I was going to say my second book, but before I wrote this book is The Milk, the first one. And then I also wrote, what was the first one? English Everywhere. ¿Ves? Si no voy en orden, no me acuerdo de todos mis libros. And the latest one is English on the Go. Aprende Inglés Viajando por el Mundo. You can pick up these books at the Vaughn tienda. And a lot of you have asked me, but what is the remilk? And how is that different from the milk too? Well, it's a good thing we made this radio ad to explain it in a funny way.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you live from the funeral.
Señoras y señores, nos dirigimos a ustedes desde el funeral real.
What a sad day it is, for this book is the remilk.
Es un día triste para This Book is the Remilk.
It is a book that was loved by many and will be missed by all.
Es un libro que fue adorado por muchos y será extrañado por aún más.
But don't fret, no, don't worry.
Pero no se preocupen,
because the remilk will be reborn.
Porque This Book is the Remilk volverá a nacer.
With a new name, a new cover, and brand new audio.
Con un nuevo nombre, una nueva portada, y ahora con audio.
It's called This Book is the Milk 2.
Se llama This Book is the Milk 2.
And it will usher in a new age.
Y nos adentrará en una nueva era.
All hail! This Book is the Milk 2, the new leader.
Viva This Book is the Milk 2, el nuevo rey.
Long live This Book is the Milk 2.
Larga vida al nuevo rey. This Book is the Milk 2.
That's right, folks. That's right. This book is the Milk 2. So it's the remilk with a new cover, and it's brand spanking new. I recommend if you have the remilk, guess what? You have a collector's item because they're not printing those anymore. So you literally have, if you have, I'll tell you, 2 books that are out of print. Now, it doesn't mean that the book is out of print, but that version of it is. I'm referring to my first book, which is English Everywhere. It's 40 situations in English, 40 places, the hairdresser. It's a very useful book, and we look at common mistakes and all of that stuff. But the original one, which I happen to have, look at that. I love when I have things here at hand. English Everywhere. If you have the one I have in my hand, which is not the pocket version, the pocket one is the newest one. The pocket one, they're printing and it's still selling like hotcakes. You say como churros, we say like hotcakes. And so this one, though, this original one comes with 2 CDs. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't have a CD player. So this one, the original English Everywhere, if you have it right now, it is a collector's item because you can't get it. Well, you might be able to get if there are any copies left, but sooner or later, there won't be any new copies. There aren't any new copies, ejemplares, being printed. Now, the second one that's a collector's item is this book is the Remilk. It's on the shelf behind me. I'm pointing. If you guys, well, either way, it's the Remilk. Many of you are familiar with it. It's the follow-up to this book is the Milk. If you have that, that too is a collector's item. Why? They're not printing them anymore. So you've got one of the only ones that was made. Now, there were thousands, and thankfully we sold so many of them. But if you wanted to get that now, you really can't. I mean, you could take a look around. But I know at the Vaughn tienda we don't have them. Maybe Amazon bought millions of copies. I don't know. Now, this book is the Milk 2. This is the new version of it. It comes with audio, which I think is so important. So if you have either one of those, the original Remilk or the original English Everywhere, well, guess what you have? You have a collector's item. And also, let me give you guys, I didn't give it to you yet, and I know it's a little bit premature, but you know what? I think it's important to give you guys the book fair dates because those of you who live in Madrid, you guys have no excuses, right? You have to come to the book fair. But if you don't live in Madrid, no problem. I'm going to give you the dates so you can plan ahead. Planificar con antelación, to plan ahead, as we say. And the book fair is starting. Jot this down, folks, okay? I don't know anything else. I just know the start date and the end date. So the book fair, the Madrid Feria del Libro, which, again, I recommend you go this year. If everything goes according to plan, según el plan, there'll be some amazing news this year at the book fair. But either way, if you have any of my books or don't have them, if you have them, bring them. I'll sign them and stamp them. We'll take a selfie. And especially if you have one of those collector's items. And if you don't, you can pick them up at the Feria del Libro. If you can't wait, you can pick them up always at Vaughn Tienda or wherever fine books are sold. The book fair, the Madrid book fair is kicking off on May 26th. Okay, May 26th. And it wraps up, acaba. I'm trying to use native vocabulary with you guys here on June 11th. June 11th. So we'll be there. I'll be there. I don't go during the week, but I do sí que hago. I do weekend appearances. So I hope to see you guys there. Those of you who I said who are far away, I know thankfully we have people who listen to us from everywhere. But the good news, you have time. You have time to plan. And those of you who live in Madrid, you better come. All right. Well, we're going to take a look at today's pop quiz. Now, today's pop quiz, as I said, comes from This Book is the Remilk, or what is now called This Book is the Milk 2. And I want you to tell me how to say the word pionero. But I want you to use it in context. Now, the example I'm looking at, there are many ways. You can say pioneer, pero ese ya no vale. I just said it. So you can say pioneer. It's always an easy one. But I like to look at other ways to say this. So I'll give you a clue. Think of a basketball team. Okay? Pionero. And don't you dare, ni se te ocurra, don't you dare just give me the word. I want you to give it to me in context, and preferably in a context that you will remember. And the good thing is, this is a milky word, as Damian and I call them, milky words. Palabras que son fáciles de acordar, porque, well, it's a brand, it's a basketball team in this case as well. So, folks, I'll give you some time to think about that, because in the meantime, I'm seeing that our answering machine messages are blinking over here. So it looks like we've got a message. Oh, wow, this is great. Remember, I said I wasn't getting too many messages. Let's see if it's one of my friends from back in the day, like Bubba or Pensington Shillingsworth III Esquire, or maybe it's one of you guys. Well, I'll tell you what, let's give it a listen here and see who called us. Hi, thanks for calling the show with no name. I can't get to the phone right now, so please leave a message after the tone.
How are you doing, boy? I'm Nihad. Actually, you are doing a great and important job. I guess not only when it comes to English learning, but I guess also the energy you launch every single day with a great spirit. I have been listening to you for a long time, and I need more and more without limits. Everything you do has a sense because I guess you are a teacher with a special feature that makes you different from others. Thank you for existing, Mr. Alberto, and God bless you and your family, especially Lara. Thank you very much.
All right. Well, in case you didn't catch when he said his name, ladies and gentlemen, that was none other than your classmate, the very brave, positive, amazing Nihad. Nihad, excellent, excellent job. You sounded eloquent. I mean, your words were so kind as always. And I would love to meet you in person one day. That would be great. Hey, maybe at the book fair. So a couple things, though, really quickly. As you guys know, I like to always take a look at, as I said, one of the things is you shouting out your other classmates and saying hello to me as well. But another thing is me being able to help you with your pronunciation. And just be careful. The second time you said it better, Nihad, but you said the word twice, great. Just think of the word eight, ocho, the number eight, and then just put GR, eight, great. Because it's a lot of people say greet, or you said like a variation. Just be careful with that vowel sound. Again, the second time you said it a lot better. The first time you said it a little bit strange. I said something stood out, not in a positive way. So great job. Practice it or use another word, excellent. Let's see. Also, Nihad said he's been listening for so long and he loves to continue to be challenged. Thank you for that as well. Thank you. I think that's just magical that you've been listening for so long and you're still on board and you're still learning new things. Guess what? So am I. And then you said something, I think you said it has sense. Everything you do has sense or something like that, something to that effect. And really, we would say everything you say makes sense. Again, guys, these are not Nihad's mistakes. These are mistakes I've heard every student make. The pronunciation of great. It has sense. Claro, en español tiene sentido. En inglés hace sentido. It makes sense. And just be careful too, Nihad, the way you pronounced the word special was a little bit special. So let's all say that together. Special. There's a really good song. I'm special, so special. I gotta have some of your attention. Give it to me, baby. I gonna make you see. I'm special, special, so special. All right, folks, let's go on into our chat room and see who's on board the nonstop rocket ship called The Show with No Name. First in line, of course, he's always ready for an intergalactic journey. My dad. Dad, you are like 6 hours ahead of us, and there you are on board first, in your seat, ready for takeoff. Ready? He says, good morning, Alberto, friends and family. Greetings from Greenwood Lake, New York, New York. What's up, Dad? Great to have you on board. Always makes it a special show. I think for all of us, not just me. I mean, it's not known as a family show because sometimes we get a little bit raunchy. We get a little bit randy, cachondillas, but when my dad's on board, we could say it's a family show, right? Laura, speaking of La Familia, she says, good morning, wonderful show with no namers. Let's quench our thirst. Saciar la sed. Let's quench our thirst for edutainment, educational entertainment. Es un portmanteau, se mezcla education, que no es edu, es edge, como borde. Education. So edutainment. educational entertainment. You got it. She says, together listening to our great teacher, Double A. Thank you so much, Laura. And speaking of edutainment, who wants to go to Singapore with me? And my friend Alvaro, who lived there for 10 years. He's the guy on the Name That Lyric jingle that goes, oh, okay, whatever, bye-bye. You know, the guy who goes, wah! That's my friend Alvaro. He married my wife and I. Not married, no hay forma del contexto, se sabe. No nos hemos casado los tres. So check it out. That episode just dropped. We're taking you to singular Singapore. Sensational Singapore. I hope you'll join us. It's for your English. Let's see. Born to Iron Man. He says, morning show with no namers, TGIF. Let's start our engines. I love your energy, amigos. There's Marta. There's a name I haven't seen for a while. Like decimos en inglés, you're a sight for sore eyes. A sight for sore eyes. Que me alegro de verte. Eres algo bueno para ver para ojos dolidos. O sea, cuando no has visto a alguien, you say, you're a sight for sore eyes. Yo aprendí esa de Back to the Future. Regreso al futuro, lo dice, en la primera. So you know, Chris Valrol, I know you're there. I'm a movie buff too. We could talk movies for hours. We should do a movie podcast. She says, goose morning. Oh, you're a silly goose, Marta. No, I know what you mean. Good morning, guys. I can finally join you live, Marta. That's music to our ears. Vero says, good morning, beautiful people. I just ended listening to this week's episode of FYI on Singapore. She says, long time no hear, our dear Atletico Alvaro Quesada. Give it a listen, guys. It's worth it. Thank you so much, Vero. You know, speaking of family, Alvaro's really part of the family too. What's up, Alvaro? We're shouting out Alvaro. In fact, I'm going to write this down. Part 1, send it to Alvaro, because if not, you know, I forget. And then I mention people. I shout people on the show, but then I forget it. And well, sometimes it's better if they hear it too. So Alvaro, you kicked ass on the Singapore episode. Well, I knew you were going to know your shit. I knew you were going to know your stuff. Sé que sabías de lo que hablabas. But that doesn't mean you have to be entertaining. And you were not just entertaining, you were also informative. Hey, sounds like the show with no name. Sounds edutational. Vero, she doesn't waste any time. She's like, I'm going to listen to it right now. Nihad, there he is. Great job, Nihad, again on that message. I think I speak on behalf of all of us. Wonderful, dude. And again, remember, if you've participated already, of course, don't hog it. No vamos a acaparar. But start thinking about your next message, Nihad. Because that one you told us, maybe the next one, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Remember, you don't want to bore us. I like to collect snails, caracoles. Well, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But remember, the idea is keep it interesting. Tell us something. Remember, the idea is to share something. And keep it under a minute, guys, because if you can't say it in under a minute, maybe it's a story we need to have told over a few beers. So Nihad says, as the day begins, remember that you are the special one and the boss. Well, that's exactly probably why I've been somewhat successful. I don't feel, Nihad, I appreciate that, but I don't feel special and I don't feel like the boss. I don't want to be the boss. I want to be the coach. I like that because the boss sounds like I'm authoritative. But I know what you mean, Nihad. Thank you so much. Good morning, Alberto and friends. Laura says, I have the original English everywhere and I'm selling it to the highest bidder. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't say that. Lo estoy vendiendo al que puja más. ¿Cómo se dice eso en español? Al que más puja. So the expression was, the first part she really said, I have the original English everywhere. And then I said, and I'm selling it, esta parte lo añadí yo, to the highest bidder. El que pone más pasta. Oh, man. Damian, Damian says, good morning, Alberto. Really early here in Argentina, in the lovely land of Argentina. Rio de Plata. Not the football team, the actual river. Take care. Buzz Lightyear is behind you. Yeah, I know that. Believe me. It's my daughter's, and she lets me know. Regards from the world champion land. That's right, Argentina in the house. Kubla says, good morning. What's up, Kubla? Monse says, good morning, guys. Finally, Friday. Well, guess who else sent me a message? Monse. But we're not going to hear her today. We'll hear from Monse next week. But right now, amigos, you know what we've got to do? I can't believe this, but we've got to go to our first commercial break. The good news, we'll be back in 2 minutes with tons more show with no name. So, if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name. Exclusively on Vaughn Radio. Woo-hoo. Welcome back. Welcome back. We've got so much going on. So much to do here. Hope you guys are enjoying the show thus far. Well, yeah, you can say thus far, or you can say so far. Thus far or so far. I think the difference is thus far sounds a little bit more formal. So far is more every day, de cada día. And remember, folks, if you want to learn everyday English, Inglés cotidiano de cada día, don't forget to catch Jules' show right after this show. The show is called Let's Get Random. And it's a show where you can learn all kinds of things. And Jules, I mean, she is full of pep. Está repleta de pep. What? Pep Guardiola? No, pep. Well, what does that mean? Well, pep means energy. So check it out, Julia and her pep, su energía, right after today's show. Again, the name of the show is Let's Get Random. And right now, the name of the section that we're going to take a look at is called Say What? Say what? What? That's right, amigos. It's the Say What soundbite, only on the show with no name. But before we do our Say What soundbite, I can't believe it, guys. We've got a lot of other stuff to do. We haven't solved our pop quiz yet. And plus, I've got all you guys giving us feedback about your buddy Nihad and his amazing message. Remember, if you want to leave me a message, I think the easiest way is go over to whatever email you use. If you use Gmail, whatever, doesn't matter. And write down my email address right here. It's A Alonso. So A Alonso, doble A al principio. No dots, no hay ningún punto, no underscores, no hay guión bajos. It's A Alonso at grupovaughn.com. You can send me a 1 minute, under a minute, whatever, around. You don't want to go over a minute. You can send me an audio file. I won't guarantee that they're all going to be on the air because, of course, if I find that, either way, folks, send us your messages. I've played all of them so far, and I know you guys know what to say and what not to say. We don't want to insult anybody or anything like that. I mean, it's really, in the end, it's common sense. So I look forward to hearing your messages. We're also going to hear from a lot of different characters that have been calling from my youth. So we're going to meet my friend. We've already met Pensington Shillingsworth III, Esquire, at your service. We've also met Billy Bob, a.k.a. Bubba. And anybody else? Well, I got a few other people who are going to be calling soon. I can give you a little information. We've got Pastor Pete. Have you heard of Pastor Pete? From the parish. Pastor Pete and his pulpit in the parish. Su pulpito. So Pastor Pete is a character who's going to be visiting us. My Italian playboy friend, Laura, you might know him, Salvatore Saltamonte. He'll be visiting us in the near future as well. And also my friend who's from Brooklyn. He's from New York, and his name is Sal Manila. And he worked in construction. Now he does odd jobs. Right now, he's a cab driver. But these are all characters that you guys can expect to hear from, and also the characters that we call your classmates. So a lot of interesting characters. Remember, now you can have a voice on the show with no name. All right, let's take a look. Kubla taking a stab at today's pop quiz. And he says, Richard Vaughn can be considered one of the trailblazers when it comes to teaching English in Spain. Spot on, Kubla. Let's see. Laura says Richard Vaughn had a groundbreaking idea creating Vaughn Radio. Laura, excellent. Another way to say it. Groundbreaking. He was groundbreaking. He was a trailblazer. And a trailblazer, think of the basketball team, the Portland Trailblazers. It's an easy one to remember, right? It reminds me of the expression too, to pave the way. And to pave the way, I believe you say, allanar el camino. So yes, Richard Vaughn, excellent example of a trailblazer. I love it. So Born to Iron Man says, are you thinking about the Trailblazers yet? Just be careful with your spelling. Born to Iron Man, te estoy diciendo a ti, be careful with your spelling. Oh, no. Se ha colado una I latina de más. It says, what a basketball team. Top. I'll take your word for it. I'm so out of the loop, Born to Iron Man. Estoy perdidísimo. Let's see. Kubla says, cheers, Nihad. Oh, here comes all the adoration from your fans, Nihad. Well, hey, we give praise where praise is due. Se da mérito donde se merece. And Monse says, wow, Nihad, that was great. Also, so kind. Absolutely, Monse. You can tell that Nihad is a wonderful person. I mean, you could tell by his comments, but now hearing his voice, he has a warm, loving, kind voice. He sounds like, y la expresión que decimos que es una persona nociva, que no te va a robar ni te va a joder la vida, we would say he wouldn't hurt a fly. O sea, no haría daño ni a una mosca. Es buena gente. And so Laura says, what a great and thoughtful message, Nihad. See, Nihad, I think we're all on the same page here. Born to Iron Man says, I bet it was Nihad, no doubt. Bravo, Nihad. Kind words. See, everybody's cheering you on. There's Lupe, one of our super duper show with no namers. And she says, good morning, guys. TGIF. What's up, Lupe? Vero says, wow, Nihad, you sounded almost bilingual. Absolutely. I agree. Chris Valrol, there she is. I mentioned your name before. She says, morning, Alberto and mates. I think Richard is a groundbreaking when it comes to English learning. So, okay, great, Chris. Quítame la A y es perfecto. Why? Because it's an adjective. So no empleamos el A o el an, el artículo, right? So Richard is groundbreaking, or he's a trailblazer, sustantivo, or he paved the way, verbo, okay? When it comes to English learning here in Spain, absolutely. You guys, I love that you guys are all using the same example. Nihad says, thank you, Alberto, for correcting me. Nihad, I'm just doing my job, buddy. Nihad says, thank you, mates. Thank you. Chris says, bravo, Nihad. Nice message. Wonderful. It's great to get all that encouragement. I'm sure, Nihad, you made our day with your message, and now these comments, I'm sure, are making your day. German says, I'm late today. I guess it's better late than never. Good morning, guys. Don't worry, German. As always, I was just dilly-dallying a little bit. Nihad says, Messi is the pioneer of the Argentina team. That's right. He is. Absolutely. Marta says, yes, I was working in the office during the rest of the week. That's the reason why I can't join you live many days. Marta, put your boss on with me. I'm going to talk to your boss right now. Let's see. Monse says, I guess everyone wants to be a trendsetter in their area of expertise. Monse, you want me to call the fire department? Because I will. She says, I guess everyone wants to be, supongo que todo el mundo quiere ser, a trendsetter, un marca tendencias. Excellent. In their area of expertise. Habilidad, pericia, I think you say. Su campo de conocimiento, I think might be another way to express that idea. Monse, wonderful, wonderful. Kubla says, the highest bidder is mejor postor. Nice. I love it. I love it. Laura says, and you signed my book at the latest book fair. That makes it even more valuable. So now who's the highest bidder? I remember, Laura. How could I forget your smile? Let's see. Born to Iron Man says, the highest bidder. Por eso está bien que apuntemos las cosas. The highest bidder. Como ha puesto Kubla, not P, BIDDER. Okay. La apuesta más alta. Let's see. Kubla says, Pensington Valechinlis III is a true representative of that good old England's peerage. I don't know who, I don't get it. Kubla, it went over my head. Sorry. No lo capte. If you're talking about my Pensington, my friend, his name is Pensington Shillingsworth III Esquire. You got to get that right. You know how these British people can be, Kubla. I guess I imagine Valecinis means something, but it went over my head. Sorry, buddy. Lupe says, my book is, Lupe is on it. She says, my book is signed too. That makes it almost unaffordable, or as we say, unaffordable or priceless for most of the bidders. Don't you think, Laura? Yeah, I think so too. And you know what? Even if you did sell it or put it up for auction, la palabra auction is subasta. Even if you sold it or put it up for auction, it's dedicated to you. It says, dear Laura, dear Monse, dear Lupe, whoever. So Lupe says, oh, and Laura says, I totally agree, Lupe. So the ladies have got collector's items. Hey, make them an offer. Make them an offer. They can't refuse. All right, what we need to do right now is listen to today's Say What soundbite, amigos. As always, I'm going to play this soundbite for you 4 times. You're going to have 4 chances to write this down. And hopefully you guys will be able to get it After these first 2 listens, you know what to do. Give me a summary, a quick summary in your best English of what you heard, and I can help you. I can help you. If you make a mistake, like with Chris, you're the example. Chris is always trying to use different structures. So I always have to make, not always, I'm using you as an example positively, Chris. So Chris is always going the extra mile. She's always trying to use structures, maybe a little like, I don't know if I know this. But once she does that, then I can point out, este ajuste, like taking out the A there. And you guys should thank Chris and everybody who makes mistakes because they're helping you guys too. These are, again, don't think those are just, don't think those are just Chris Valrol's mistakes. They're mistakes that anyone can make, especially Spanish speakers. Let's see. Well, let me give you guys, I'm reading comments here. Thankfully, we have so many comments, but I need to give you guys the Say What soundbite. I'm going to focus right now because if not, I'll never do it. All right, this is it for the first time. Please write down what you hear.
You can call things by different names, and you can use the moon or Mars or Venus, and you can say, this is the Venus trot. But that doesn't mean that it has any connection to what it would be like for a horse moving on Venus.
All right, there you go, folks. Sounds like this guy is looping the loop over here. Rizando el rizo. I don't know what's going on, but he speaks clearly, right? I think the guy's pronouncing everything. He's not speaking too fast, and he's taking pauses. So that's going to help us in the long run, a la larga, when we have to write it all down. But let me give it to you for a second time, and then we'll discuss it.
You can call things by different names, and you can use the moon or Mars or Venus, and you can say, this is the Venus trot. But that doesn't mean that it has any connection to what it would be like for a horse moving on Venus.
All right, there you go, folks. That was the second listen. You're going to hear it an additional 2 times. And while you're mulling it over, dándole unas vueltas, I think we're going to move on to today's Spelling Bee.
Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee. Spelling Bee.
Check it out. Your Spelling Bee, folks, your daily Spelling Bee. But today, we're going to kick it up a notch. Vamos a subir el listón. I'm going to put some numbers in here. So this one, really, the first round at least, is reserved exclusively for superstars. All right, I'm going to take a look over here really quickly at our chat room and see if anybody has participated in the Say What soundbite. So, yeah, it looks like the ladies have put my books, the signed books, the autographed books, on the auction block. Es una forma así, el bloque de la subasta. So it's an auction. The verb is to auction something off or to put it on the auction block is the expression I just used. And the person, that's an auctioneer. Have you ever been to an? I mean, it is mind-blowing. I think that's some of the first influences on my life, at least as far as orally, my ears and speaking in both senses of the word, was the ringleader at the circus. Dad, remember, I was 3 years old. You took me to Madison Square Garden, and all I saw, there were motorcycles and there were clowns and elephants, and all I saw was, ladies and gentlemen, if I'll tell your attention over to the second. And I was like, this is the this person, the ringleader, the ringmaster, or the ringleader. And I think that had a profound effect on me. Another one was the auctioneer. I remember we went to the local fair, the Orange County Fair. If you ever get the chance to go to a county fair, una de estas ferias de un condado en Estados Unidos. They're in the summer. Go. I mean, it's it's like, oh, you can't get more American than that. All right, let's see. Kubla says shilling is chelin. Balich. Okay, yeah, it's too early for me. Even though I've been up for 4, my daughter woke me up this morning at 6:30, but with a big kiss. She's not feeling well. In fact, she's at the doctor right now, but hopefully she'll be feeling better. I was giving her kisses and hugs all morning before I started the show, and hopefully she'll be better. She always says, she goes, Papi's hugs have medicine. Tiene medicina. Los abrazos de Papi. And Chris, you're putting your book on the auction. Girls, you're gonna be rolling in it. You're gonna make bank. Los vais a forrar. It's incredible. Let's see. Kubla says, bravo, Chris. Absolutely. Monza says, sure, we all learn together. That's what I mean. You know, it's like when in the class, you know, the student, your you know, whoever's sitting next to you, your classmate next to you, asks a question, and you're like, oh my God, thank God he or she asked that question, because I was thinking the same thing. So it's the same kind of thing. It's sometimes somebody has to get it out there on the table so that everybody can say, ooh, got it now. All right, let's see. Kubla says, I heard an American man talking about a horse's trot. Absolutely, Kubla. He mentioned it could be called differently on Mars, Venus, or the moon. Great job. Great job, Kubla. Let's see. Monse says, I heard what to me can be a former American astronaut disclosing how life and biological beings can be or behave different on another planet. Solo hay que cambiar la preposición, Monse. You put in another planet, sería on another planet. Monse, are you a freaking mind reader or a hacker? Did you read the script here? ¿No has leído el guión? Wow, Monse. Oh my God, that was spot on. Kubla says, best wishes to Lara. Get well. Laura says, sweet Lara, I hope she gets better soon. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. You know what it is when you've got kids. It's tough. They get sick, and then they get better, and then they get sick again when they go back to school, because the word, y mira, como te digo, siempre aprendo palabras de la vida. Like I learned vitrina when I was, you know, Real Madrid started winning the champions. You know, I was like, las vitrina. Okay. Remontada. I learned all these words from Marta, by the way. And unfortunately, recently, I had to learn the word caldo de cultivo. Unfortunately, a breeding ground in English. Una tierra donde se procrea. We're speaking about bacteria here, by the way. All right, well, let's do today's spelling bee. The first time I'm going to fly through it, as I always do. And remember, we're going to look at some places and numbers. So what does that mean? That means we're going to be looking at places and their population. That means the words must be capitalized and put the number after each one. This is going to be really tough. The first time I'll fly through it, and the second time I'm going to be a really nice guy. Here we go, round one. The first word is Kowloon. And the population there is 2,019,500. The next one is Northern space HONG space KONG space ISLAND. And the population there is 992,900. The next one is called TSUEN space WAN, and the population there is 801,800. The next one is SHA space TIN, and the population there is 630,000. The next one is TUEN space MUN, and the population there is 470,900. And the last one is TSEUNG space KWAN, And the population there is 344,500. All right, I can breathe again. Don't worry, I'm going to repeat it in a moment. We'll see if anybody got it. That was insanely fast. Let's see. Carlos Garcia says, I've been once or twice to a county fair, and I swear to this day, I believe it was only a dream. It was absolutely fantastic. Thanks for sharing, Carlos. It is. I mean, it's insane. You got everything and anything from a petting zoo. Esto es una palabra bastante lógica. A petting zoo is where they pet, where it's like a donde traen animales y puedes interactuar con ellos. O sea, es un zoo, pero donde puedes darle caricia. Ajá. So, Carlos, then you know about that experience. It's insane. There's no words for a county fair. Chris says, I heard a man whose accent I can't pinpoint. Mejor pinpoint. Great, Chris, awesome word there. I'm going to have to give you a totally native because that's... Oh, no, that's not a totally native. I was going to give you a pop quiz. You're like, another one? So I heard a man whose accent I can't pinpoint. He's being interviewed, and he seems to be an expert in cosmos things. Interesting, Chris Valrol. Guys, a nice round of applause. Yeah, well, a lot of you are on the right track. Vais encarrilados. You're on the right track in today's Say What soundbite. There's just one little problem, though. I'm taking a look at today's spelling bee, and I don't have anybody participating yet. So this is funny. I'm just saying this is how life works. Yesterday, you guys said to me, is that all you got? And esto no lo hizo. My wife says I'm a bit vengativo. I'm a Scorpio. I'm Sicilian. But yesterday, I remember some people complaining jokingly, oh, man, that's all you got? Psh, that was easy, man. That was child's play. Well, that's not what you're saying today. But guess what? The good news is, folks, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to give you these words and these numbers at a very normal pace. Un ritmo super normal. And we'll be right back. So... you know how it works. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name, exclusively on Vaughn Radio. Yeah. All right. Welcome back. Can't believe it, folks. We're in the third part of the show. What? Yeah, we're in the third part of the show. My God. All right, amigos. Welcome back. Welcome back to the third part of today's show with No Name. And man, we've got a lot of stuff to do. But first, I just wanted to remind you guys about a new initiative that we've got here. And it's Vaughn and Amazon's Alexa. Ahora puedes aprender inglés con Vaughan y Alexa de Amazon. Solo tienes que decir:
Alexa, quiero aprender inglés.
Bienvenido a Aprende Idiomas con Alexa. Hoy vas a poder aprender lecciones de inglés nivel iniciación con Alexa en colaboración con Vaughan. Podrás aprender desde nuevo vocabulario a pronunciación y mucho más. Cada lección contiene secciones de práctica y de preguntas. Empecemos. Veamos ahora 5 actividades con el verbo ir.
To go.
Ir al gimnasio es.
To go to the gym.
La G de
Gym.
suena casi como una H.
To go to the gym.
Dilo tú.
To go to the gym.
Correcto.
Eso es. Practica inglés con Vaughan y con Alexa de Amazon. Acuérdate, solo tienes que decir:
Alexa, quiero aprender inglés.
esto sí que es un...
Buen comienzo. Te toca.
That's right. It's your turn, folks. You just got to say those magic words. And remember, we love your feedback, so let us know how it goes. There are 30 different situations, and each one has 4 classes. That is awesome. All right, well, we've got so much to do, so we're really going to have to step on it, pisarlo fuerte, and you know what time it is. It's time for Homophones.
Homophones, homophones on the show with no name. It's homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name. Homophones on the show with no name. Cause homophones time, cause homophones rhyme. They sound the same on the show with no name. The show with no name.
Show it no homophone. Show it no name. That's right, amigos. It is Homophones only on the show with no name. And as always, this is a section with words that tend to be tricky. Now, you guys don't seem to have too many problems here in this section. But let me give you the words, and then we got to do the spelling. Man, we got a lot of stuff. I'll tell you what, let's do the spelling bee words first. Then what I'll do is I got to give you say what. Okay, I'm going to get, you know what? We got to get it all done no matter what. Pase lo que pase. So let me give you the say what soundbite. This is the say what soundbite. I'm going to give it to you for the 3rd time. Please write down what you hear.
You can call things by different names, and you can use the moon or Mars or Venus, and you can say, this is the Venus trot. But that doesn't mean that it has any connection to what it would be like for a horse moving on Venus.
All right, there you go, folks. That was the 3rd listen. We just check that off the list. Let's go over to our spelling bee over here before we do our homophones. And spelling bee, okay, Born to Iron Man, I see you gave us the answers. The only thing is I'm seeing there's one minor mistake. But I'll tell you what, I want you to be my banker, okay? Because you just added some people. But dude, I got to say, excellent job. I think you just, if I'm not mistaken, there's just one little mistake there. Not bad at all. Well, let me give you guys the spelling bee again. This will be our 2nd round, round 2, and I'm going to be nice. Me voy a portar bien. Why not? Okay, the first one is, these are obviously places and their populations. The first place is KOWLOON. The population in this place is 2,019,500. By the way, Iron Man, that's the one you made a mistake on. The number. The second one is, this is a really long one, NORTHERN. Okay. Oof, long word here. Okay. Okay, so let me start again. I was looking at, I thought I saw another mistake born to Iron Man, but no, I think there's just one. Sorry, I can't do two things at the same time. Okay, now I'll focus on the second one. NORTHERN space HONG space KONG space ISLAND. And the population there is 992,900. The next one is TSUEN space WAN. And the population is 801,800. The fourth one is SHA space, my bad, TIN. Sometimes if I go too slow, I get lost. And the population, 630,000. Yo tengo que coger ritmillo, como ves. The fifth one, or second to last one, is TUEN space MUN, and the population is 470,900. And the last one is TSEUNG space KWAN, and the population there is 344,500. Okay, there's a lot of information here. Great job, as I said, Born to Iron Man. Let's see. Yeah, Born to Iron Man, I guess you put it twice. I didn't see it. I only see it once here. So looks like YouTube is out to get you, man. Va por ti este YouTube, que al final es Gmail, que al final es ABC. Oh, man, I guess it's not as easy as ABC. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. German says, Alexa, can you take me to Spain for 1 week so I can meet AA and my Spanish classmates? Oh, that's awesome. That would be magical, German. That would be awesome. Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner, somebody who has nailed our Say What soundbite. Wait, one? We've got 2 winners in today's Say What soundbite, and we still have one more lesson left. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Nihad and Laura. Nihad and Laura knocking it out of the park. Un home run. Petándolo, knocking it out of the park there in our Say What soundbite. Excellent job. All right, let's see if anybody got the spelling bee. As I said, Born to Iron Man, it was almost perfect. Now you got it, but right before you there, Kubla. So Kubla, Born to Iron Man, and Vedo. You nailed today's spelling bee after that second go. So, guys, really good job, as I said, for Nihad and Laura in the Say What soundbite. And Kubla, Born to Iron Man, and Vedo in the spelling bee. Now, before we go over our spelling bee really quickly, I'm going to give you today's homophones. This way we can, we can make some time here. The first word I want you to give me, and remember, give me the 2 words and then tell me if they sound exactly the same or not. The first word is Satanas. Whoa, the devil. Okay, Satanas is our first word. Okay, you got to tell me what the word is, and then you got to tell me what this word is, and then you got to tell me if they sound the same. The next word is raso or satén. It says here. No sé si lo... Bueno, parecido. De raso, sedoso, suave. So yeah, a lot of times we talk about something that's really soft and shiny as that as well. Okay? So it's a kind of fabric, tipo de tela, shiny fabric, que brilla. And in Spanish, you call it raso o satén. So the two words are Satanás and raso, satén. What are those two words, and do they sound exactly the same or not? We'll take a look at that in a moment. Let's check our spelling bee answers. In the meantime, these are all places in Hong Kong, baby. And that's a place that's on my list. I would love to go to Hong Kong one day. I had to, sorry. I couldn't help it. All right, and the reason I chose places in Hong Kong was because today in 1841, Hong Kong Island was occupied by the British during what was called the First Opium War. Yeah, and now, well, I think they're saying there's like a reverse opium war because now they're sending drugs into the West. I don't know. I don't know very much about this. I have to say I'm a bit ignorant in this area. But let's take a look at these places. Instead of making it a history lesson, I figured we could take a look at some places in Hong Kong, the ones with the highest populations. And this way we would look at some big numbers too. The first one is Kowloon. This is probably the most famous area. This is where the bay is, La Bahia. Kowloon, okay? Kowloon. The population there, 2,019,500. Now, I think Born to Iron Man, at first you said 2,190,000, but it was 19. So el cero va adelante, right? So, escrito en español, 2,019,500. So, 2,019,500. 2,019,500 people. The next one is Northern. Fijaos, North es norte, pero Northern cambia. Sacamos la lengua más. Lo mismo, South, Southern, cambia bastante. Northern Hong Kong Island, y no es Iceland, ¿cómo se pronuncia isla? Island. And the population there is 992,900. Okay, so just shy of, esto es buena expresión, le falta un poquito para ser 1,000,000, just shy of 1,000,000. The next one is Sunwan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that TS correctly. Se escribe T-S-E-U-N. No, U-E-N. Sunwan. And all of these, the last four have the word Newtown after them. So these are newer areas. And the population in Sunwan is 801,800. 800,000. 1,800. I think I said that right. 801,800. The next one, Shatin. Shatin, 630,000 people. 630,000. The next one is Tuen Mun. Tuen Mun. The population there, 470,900. So, 470,900. See, they're difficult for me in Spanish. And the last one is Sung Quan. That is 344,500. 344,500. Excellent job once again to all of you who participated. That was a really tough one. Bastante difícil. Yeah, it was a tough one. Let's be honest. All right, let's go on over to our homophones and see if these are tough or not. The first person to participate is Kubla. He's on fire today, as usual. And he says it's and they're not homophones. Very interesting, Kubla. Those are the correct words, so we're off to a good start. Let's see if your classmates agree. Born to Iron Man gives us the correct words, and he says they don't sound alike. Vero, la primera palabra, the first word is not the correct word, so we'll skip that one. There's my dad. Greetings from Greenwood Lake. Wait, how did we go back to the top again? Oh, my God, that was strange. We just ended up going back to the top. Okay, here we are. So, Vero, now yours is correct. I don't know what's going on. And you said they're not homophones. Well, I mean, the words are correct. Before it said Sata instead of Satan, right? Who else? German says they're not homophones. Laura says no. Nihad says no. Chris says no. So wait a second. Lupe, either you guys are all out of your minds, estáis loquísimos, right? Or you're all awesome at knowing how words are pronounced in English. Well, let's say both words as we always do here in this section. The first word, Satan. Now, I imagine the British say the T more, Satan. But Americans, remember, we use that glottal stop. Satan, 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 Satan. We say Satan, Satan, Satan. Eso es a la americana. The British say Satan, Satan. We say Satan. Mi amiga, mi hija, ya dice el americano. I love it. I'm like, when is she going to start doing the? Because I remember at first I said, honey, look at the mountain. And she would just say mound. Lo acabaría con el mound. She's like, no lo tengo, but she knows it's mountain. So interesting. Pero nunca ha dicho mountain, porque no lo ha visto escrito. So what's the key? Don't ever look at the way things are written. Not in English. You're just going to get confused. Okay, so Satan is the first word, Satan. The second word is satin or satin. But either way, however you slice it or dice it, pongas como lo pongas, they are not homophones. Reminds me of a song by Cream, I believe. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. Now I have to check it out because I said Cream. Let's see. If you haven't heard this song, it's amazing. Nights in white satin, noches de satén. The Moody Blues. ¿Ves? Me he equivocado. I checked it, though. The Moody Blues. Nights in white satin. Hazte un favor. After the show, write it down. It's just one of these songs that has a beautiful build, a crescendo. Nights in white satin, never reaching the end. So these are not homophones. And again, we use satin the same way you guys do. Algo suave, sedoso, right? So it is satin. It's smooth like satin. All right, well, folks, it's time to move on to Name That Movie. Name that movie. That's right, amigos. It's Name That Movie only on the show with no name. And as always, I'm going to give you a little trailer, and then we're going to take a look at a scene from the movie. And we're going to extract a lot of interesting English from this. And remember, it's a great way to learn English. You want to turn your brain off a little bit. Oh, man, I don't feel like studying, or, my eyes are... Listen to a podcast, watch a documentary, watch a series or a movie. You'll get something from it. Even if you're not even paying attention, you will get something from it. Okay, so here is your trailer. Let's see if you guys can figure it out. Laura Palmer's harrowing final days are chronicled 1 year after the murder of Teresa Banks, a resident of neighboring town. No te puedo decir el nombre del pueblo because then I'd be giving it away. Como los chili peppers, soplándolo. I'd be giving it away. All right, so Laura Palmer. Laura Palmer and her harrowing final days. Now, harrowing, let's look this one up. Harrowing is espeluznante. Yes, lacerante, horroroso, desgarrador. Harrowing. So Laura Palmer's harrowing final days are chronicled. So to make a chronicle of something is to chronicle. So the verb and the noun. 1 year after the murder of Teresa Banks. Do these names ring a bell? Well, I didn't tell you the name of the town because that would just give away the title. A resident of neighboring town. O sea, el que vive ahí al lado. No, el pueblo de al lado, perdona. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a winner over here. Please give it up for Kubla. That's right. It's Twin Peaks. Born to Iron Man wrote Tween Peaks. Ah, interesting. Oh, and if we want to be sticklers, guys, because I think you're doing that on purpose, Tween Peaks, right? Instead of twin, Born to Iron Man. And Kubla and Born to Iron Man, you're right. But do we want to be sticklers? Because we got the movie queen who gives us the subtitle too. So we're going to give it, you know me, I love when people are thorough, concienzudos. So we're going to give it to her for the most thorough answer. Our movie queen, she's the movie queen. Chris Valrol says it's Twin Peaks. Fire Walk with Me. Chris, unbelievable. It came out in, you want to say it or you want me to say it, Chris? It came out in 1992, but I didn't know that off the top of my head. I had to look it up. And obviously this is David Lynch, the one and only David Lynch. Man, this is a classic, a modern classic, I would say. All right, so let's take a look at the scene then. Special Agent Dale Cooper. And special, we looked at that word before with Nihad, special. And this word people often mispronounce, agent and agency. So just remember, it's not agent or agency. It's agent or agency. So Special Agent Dale Cooper says, lately I've been filled with the knowledge, la sabiduría, that the killer will strike again, que volverá a atacar, right? The empire strikes back, to strike, contraatacar, no? The killer will strike again. But because it is just a feeling, I am powerless to stop it, okay? No tengo el poder, no hay nada que yo pueda hacer para frenarlo. One more thing, Albert. When the next murder happens, cuando el próximo asesinato pasa, you will help me solve it. Tú me ayudarás a resolverlo, to solve it. And then Albert says, let's test it for the record. Vamos a ponerlo a prueba para que conste, for the record. Let's test it for the record. Will the next victim be a man or a woman? You know, it's victim, it's victim. Victim. Will the next victim be a man or a woman? And Special Agent Dale Cooper says, a woman. And Albert says, all right, what color hair will she have? ¿De qué color será su pelo? And Special Agent Dale Cooper says, blonde. Right? We say blonde, brunette is brown hair. And then Albert says, tell me some other things about her. Cuéntame más cosas sobre ella. And then he says, she's in high school. Vamos a pronunciar esa, no es high school, high school. Como una sola palabra. She's in high school. She's sexually active, promiscuous, right? She's using drugs. You can say taking drugs or using drugs. She's crying out for help. And to cry out for help, it's when somebody is attracting attention in a bad way, but it's because they really want you to help them. So if I keep acting, they really need your help. They don't need you to chew them out, regañarles. So his behavior is him crying out for help, ¿no? No lo interpretes como es mala persona, es que necesita ayuda. So if somebody, and we say a cry for help. I think it's a cry for help. He's crying out for help. Es frase hecha. And then Albert says, well, damn, Cooper, that really narrows it down. And to narrow down, narrow es algo estrecho, right? So if you narrow it down, you go and you start eliminating options. We've narrowed it down to 3 candidates, ¿no? Hemos eliminado los demás y nos hemos quedado to narrow it down. You're talking about half the high school girls in America. Y vamos a pronunciar esta palabra también, por favor. Half, ¿se pronuncia con esa L o sin la L? ¿Es half or half? It's half, folks. The same as walk, talk. Son L's que no le hemos puesto ahí solo por joder. Folks, we're going to our final commercial break. We'll be right back. We've got so much to do in the 4th and final part of today's show. So if I were you guys, I wouldn't even think of going anywhere. Stick around. Hey, amigos, welcome back. Welcome back to the show with no name on Vaughn Radio. All aboard. Don't forget, after this show, you've got amazing programs all afternoon, starting off with Jules Linares and Let's Get Random, followed by the lunchtime show with Rob and Andy. And don't forget about Tash Pasqua and her program, Back to Basics. And don't forget, follow us all on social media as well. And this way you never miss a beat. Never, ever miss a beat. No te pierdes ni una. Just in case you have FOMO. FOMO. You know what FOMO is? Fear of missing out. Do you know what JOMO is? What I have. The joy of missing out. All right. Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. So much to do here in the fourth and final part of today's show that we've got to put the pedal to the metal and get right into today's Double Trouble.
Double trouble, baby. Yeah, you know what time it is. Give it up. Double trouble. I said double trouble. Double trouble. I said double trouble.
That's right, amigos. It's Double Trouble only on the show with no name. And we are going to take a look at this one. Excuse me. And, did I say Double Trouble? I'm evil. It's not Double Trouble today. It's Triple Trouble. And hopefully you guys will be able to figure it out. Good luck. And may the force be with you. El tío con el pelo rapado me dio un toque. He called me, ¿no? Me dio un toque. Le dije que se largara o que se fuera a tomar viento. Ahí está. What do you want, more? So you got to use the same word 3 times, folks. So el tío con el pelo rapado me dio un toque. Le dije que se largara o que se fuese a tomar Viento. That is your triple trouble today. Hopefully, somebody will be able to figure them out. All right, what else have we got to do? We need to listen to our Say What soundbite. A couple students have gotten it already. Let's see if you can figure it out. This is the fourth and final listen.
No. You can call things by different names, and you can use the moon or Mars or Venus, and you can say, this is the Venus trot. But that doesn't mean that it has any connection to what it would be like for a horse moving on Venus.
All right, amigos. That was the last listen. Let's see how you did on the triple trouble. In our chat room, we've got Kubla. He says, to cry out for help is pedir ayuda a gritos. Oh, then it sounds pretty similar. Born to Iron Man says, crying out for help is lágrimas de cocodrilo. And he's kind of asking because he's got the scratchy face. No, because crocodile tears, which we say the same thing, Born to Iron Man. Y gracias por la pregunta. Because como veo que tienes no sé. Crocodile tears are not sincere tears. You're doing it to get attention. Whereas if somebody's crying out for help, he's drinking because he's depressed. So he's he keeps trying to get your attention because he doesn't want to hurt you. He wants your help. But sometimes people don't know how to ask for help. No sé si lo he explicado bien. So I guess I didn't, because crocodile tears means they're not sincere. This means that this person's actions or behaviors are them saying, well, somebody please help me. I'm sick of this. Right? But sometimes people can't, they're not brave enough. They can't, it's not easy to say that, to say, I can't take this anymore. I'm thinking of an alcoholic, for example. So hopefully I've explained it better. Vero says, I would say suplicando ayuda better, Born to Iron Man. Yeah, it means you're really crying out. You're begging, por favor, alguien ayúdame. But instead of saying it, you're attracting attention in a negative way. Let's see. Kubla says, these commercial breaks have been quick lately, haven't they? Are you complaining? I can make them longer if you want. I'll deal with the ins and outs of the show, Kubla. Thank you. I got it all under control. The ins and outs, los pormenores. Chris says, I agree with Vero. So suplicando ayuda. I guess, Vero, they voted that you had the best translation there. All right. Well, I think I explained it with the perfect example. Why is he nasty to you? ¿Por qué te trata así? Well, he's crying out for help. The guy's in pain. He's hurting. He's in a bad situation, but he doesn't know how to say, I need your help. I need somebody to love me or listen to me or care about me. ¿Me explico? I think we're getting into some crazy shit here. All right, let's take a look at today's triple trouble. Anybody? Going once? Going twice? Nobody? Oh man, let me gloat for a second. Do you know this word, to gloat? Gloat. To gloat, regodearse, presumir, relamerse. Let me just gloat for a second. Well, it's hard to stump you guys. Of course, my goal in life is not to stump you, but to challenge you. All right, so anybody get it? I'll go through it. Going once, going twice. Oh, wow. I thought somebody was going to at least take a stab at it here, but nobody is. All right, so el tío, the guy. All right, maybe if you're English, you wouldn't say the guy. Oh, yeah, the guy is pretty universal. The guy. Just be careful. I've had a lot of people tell me I'm a nice gay. And I don't take offense, but it's not my sexual orientation. Be careful with that gay and guy thing. I've seen people put their foot in their mouth more often than not. So the guy con el pelo rapado. Well, how would we say this? You could say the guy with a crew cut. A crew cut is este corte militar. You can say the guy with the buzz cut, because the clippers are what you use, and you can buzz your hair down. Bzz. So a buzz cut or a crew cut, or the guy who's got his head buzzed or shaved. Now, shaved, though, I would think kind of, going all the way down. So just, there are different levels, as anybody who's ever shaved their head knows. I've shaved it completely, but also I've had a buzz cut or a crew cut. And that's when it's short, but not completely shaved. Okay, so el tío con el pelo rapado me dio un toque. The guy with the buzz cut gave me a buzz. Oh, there he is now. The guy with the buzz cut gave me a buzz. We just got two of the buzzes right now. Me dio un toque. Gave me a ring, gave me a buzz, gave me a call. All of those are fine. Oh, wait. Hang on. Somebody's giving us a buzz over here. And this is Monse. Okay, wait, let's see. Monse says, the guy with the buzz cut said, cuidado, said is S-A-I-D, right? Said, no Said, right? So the guy with the buzz cut said hi to me, and I tell him to buzz off. Oh, not bad, Monse. I told him to, le dije, es el pasado, y cuidado con el said, but excellent. Well, I'll tell you what, the only one to make an effort was Monse. So you're righter than everybody else. Más correcto que los demás. So the guy with the buzz cut gave me a buzz, me dio un toque. And I told him to buzz off. Le dije, y esa parte lo sacaste muy bien, Monse, que se fuera a tomar viento. Buzz off, man. And I told him to buzz off. But in the end, I had a buzz. Estaba con el puntillo. I could have made it a quadruple trouble, guys. Well, excellent job, Monse. Making an effort is half the battle. Excellent job, Monse. All right, folks, it's time to move on to your joking.
Thank you. Okay, what did the guy say when he walked into the bar? Ouch. Ouch. You get it? Ouch. He walked into the bar.
You're joking. All right, amigos. You're joking. Oh, and another usage, before I forget, of the word buzz. De lo que está hablando la gente. Right? Last week, there was a lot of buzz around Shakira and Piqué. There was a lot of buzz, mucho ruido, mucho murmullo, I think I've heard people say before. So that's a really good word. Oh, and I didn't even think about this. Do you know what the next episode? Well, this week we're going to Singapore. But after this week, do you know where we're going? We're going straight into the hornet's hive, la colmena del avispón. Yeah, we're going to take a look at bees, not spelling bees. We're going to take a look at bees on the next episode. So that's not this Friday, today. Today you got Singapore. Next week, we're going to take a look at bees, and we'll look at some expressions with buzz. In fact, I think I go over the word buzz off and the bee's knees. Well, either way, first you got to listen to the Singapore episode, unless you're Vero. And she's like, I already did. Vero, you are fast. I know Born to Iron Man too. And even Leonardo, who you haven't been here in a while, Leonardo, but I know Leo too. He's one of the early listeners. He's like, I already listened to. I'm like, all right, wow, great job. So, my amigos, here are your jokes for today. As always, you can expect the corniest jokes in the world, but I love corny jokes. All right, let's get some sound effects in the background. There we go. Why not? Okay. What do big hills and gasoline have in common? Okay. So what do big hills and gasoline, or petrol, if you're British, what do they have in common? Easy. Really easy. They're both steep. They're both steep. It's a good one. It's an easy one too. No tiene mucho. So obviously that word steep has a double meaning there, doesn't it? Could be a double trouble in the future. You never, ever know. Does anybody get it? Steep. All right. What do big hills and gasoline have in common? Well, a big hill es una colina, una cuesta, you would say, con mucha inclinación, alta, grande, a big hill. So when there's a big hill and it's got una inclinación bastante inclinada, that's called it's very steep. That's a steep hill, right? That's a very steep hill. That means if you're on your bike and you have an electric bike, that's when you kick in the electric stuff on a steep hill. Because you can have a gradual hill, right? But also a steep hill is kind of like, whoa, like, okay, so steep. Let's see, Chris says steep, inclinado y en remojo. Yeah, well, Chris, that's true, but that's not the second meaning here. But you know what? Good job. You have to steep your tea. I always steep my tea. But also steep is another way of saying expensive. Do you get it now? So, oh man, that's a steep price to pay. What? That's really steep, man. I'm not paying that. Steep. S-T-E-E-P. Really good word to know there. So you get it now? What do big hills and gasoline have in common? They're both steep. Uno tiene mucha inclinación y son caras. Gasoline, let's not even talk about that. All right. You know what? A friend told me that if I go to the Andes Mountains, he told me that I should dress warm. I should bundle up, as we say. Bundle es fardo. Hacerte un fardo. Abrigarse bien. So yeah, a friend down there, he said, listen, if you come to visit me in the Andes, he said, you know, you gotta dress warm. You gotta bundle up. You gotta layer up, poner capas. Because, you know, down here in the Andes, man, this place is chilly. No. The place is chilly. That's a great one. That place is chilly. El país en inglés se pronuncia chilly, not Chile. We say chilly. But chilly también con Y, C-H-I-L-L-Y es frío. So my friend said, you should bundle up if you're going to come visit me here in the Andes. This place is chilly. No? Jesus Christ. Okay, last one, I promise. Last one. Why can't you play hide and seek with the mountains? Why can't you play hide and seek, el escondite? En inglés es esconde y busca, hide and seek. Why can't you play it with the mountains? Porque no en la montaña, pero con ellos. Well, man, it's because they always peak. They always peak. No, they always peak. Okay, so peak, a mountain peak, a summit, el pico de parecido, P-E-A-K, peak. Oh, Everest is the highest peak, right, on the planet. It's the highest peak. But also the word peek, P-E-E-K, is to sneak a look. Hacer una mirada a escondidas. So if, you know, somebody says, cover your eyes, no peeking, don't peek. No, intentes mirar. Here it says espiar, echar un vistazo, dar un vistazo, echar una mirada, cuando no deberías. No peeking, right? I told you not to peek. Do you get it now? It's a great joke. So why can't you play hide and seek with the mountains? Oh, man. It's because they always peak. All right, folks, we've got to move on. It's time for famous birthday trivia. That's right, folks. That's right. It's famous birthdays only on the show with no name. And this first guy, He was born in 1952. And he was made for loving you, baby. Can't you get enough of him? He also told us that he wants to rock and roll all night and party every day. The band from Detroit. Well, no, it's funny. They're not from Detroit, but one of their most famous songs is Detroit Rock City. Get up, everybody. I've seen these guys in concert, and these are the famous guys who paint their faces black and white. They've been around since way back in the day. This guy's the lead singer, and in Spanish, the name of the group is Beso. They formed in New York City in 1973. So over 4 years before I was born, this group started making music. And I got to tell you something, man, you may like them, you may dislike them, but they put on an amazing live show. And they're famous for having like their final tour, and then they come out again. So I stopped going to see them because I've seen them a few times thinking it was the final tour. You know who does that too? Ozzy. He goes, no, this time I'm serious. So no, this time I'm really retiring. So excellent stuff. The front man of the group Kiss. Number 2. This guy was born in 1946, an American director, producer, screenwriter, filmmaker, cineasta, I think you say. He has received 3 Academy Award nominations for Best Director. Some of the movies you might know of his: Eraserhead, which was his first feature length, The Elephant Man, Dune, Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks, the series, Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, which was today's Name That Movie, Lost Highway, Mulholland Drive. Oh, esta película es buenísima. I was talking about that movie with my wife the other day, Mulholland Drive. And last but not least, this guy was born in 1930. His real name is Edwin Eugene, but they call him Murmullo or Un Toque. It was the word, his nickname is the word that we looked at 3 or 4 times, or 5 different meanings of, in our Double Trouble today. So he is the first man to step foot on the moon. Shall I say any more? Or have we got that one? Oh, no, he wasn't the first one. No, he wasn't. Cancel that. He was on the first mission, Gemini 12. Oh, no, Apollo 11. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So him and the mission commander, De Rodillas Brazo Fuerte, Neil Armstrong, were the first 2 people to land on the moon. And speaking of the first 2 people, the first 2 people to get today's Say What. No, not Say What. We're going there right now. Today's famous birthday trivia. Please give it up for Kubla and Chris Valrol. Nice job, folks. Excellent job. Kubla. And right on his heels, we got Chris Valrol. And speaking of Buzz Lightyear, no, his name isn't Buzz Lightyear. It's Buzz Aldrin. Buzz Aldrin was today's Say What soundbite. So you were right when you guys said astronaut. And the first one is Paul Stanley from Kiss. The second one, filmmaker David Lynch. So let's see what Buzz Aldrin had to say. This is great because this is an interview from Ali G, which is Sacha Baron Cohen, Borat, one of his characters. And he tells him, he goes, aren't you pissed off that Michael Jackson claims that he invented the moonwalk? And se hace de tonto. It's really funny. De hecho, cuando le presenta, dice, I'm here with my main man, Buzz Lightyear. Y le mira como. So it's really funny. The Ali G Show is the name of the show, and you can find it. Find Buzz Aldrin interview Ali G. Hysterical. And he's trying to like explain to him, no, the moonwalk has nothing to do with actually walking on the moon. It's a dance. And he gets it. He's playing with him. So he goes, you can call things by different names. And you can use the moon or Mars or Venus. And you could say, this is a Venus trot, un trote de Venus. It's a dance. But that doesn't mean it has any connection to what it would be like for a horse moving on Venus. Folks, here you go. Buzz Lightyear. I mean, Buzz Aldrin.
No. You can call things by different names, and you can use the moon or Mars or Venus, and you can say, this is the Venus trot. But that doesn't mean that it has any connection to what it would be like for a horse moving on Venus.
All right, folks. And now it's time for our final section, Name That Lyric.
Hi, hello, Alberto. I think the song is. No? Sorry, bye.
Name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric, name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. Name that lyric only on the show with no name, the show with no name, the show with no name. It's name that lyric only on the show with no name.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It's Name That Lyric only on the show with no name. And since we don't have much time at all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys the song because I want you guys to follow along with me and learn. It's Kiss is the group. The group is Kiss, and the song is Strutter. Strutter. Well, to strut is pavonearse. So if she's a strutter, ella es una que pavonea. This is an awesome song, by the way. Google it, look up the lyrics, and put in Kiss Strutter. Y así aprendes la palabra strut. He says, I know a thing or two about her. Sé algo, alguna cosita sobre ella. I know she'll only make you cry. Sé que solo te hará llorar. She'll let you walk the street beside her. Te dejará andar a su lado por la calle. But when she wants, she'll pass you by. Pero cuando ella quiere, te pasará de largo. Everybody says she's looking good. Todo el mundo dice que está buena, que... And the lady knows it's understood. Y la chica, la señora, sabe que se entiende. Strutter, strutter, la que pavonea. She wears her satins like a lady. You know the word satin? We looked at that word today in our homophone section. And she gets her way just like a child. Y acabamos con esta expresión. Siempre se sale con la suya. She gets her way just like a child. Thank you guys so much for being here today and every day. It's an absolute pleasure. Who would have thunk? ¿Quién hubiese dicho? ¿Quién habría dicho? Oh, God, difícil en español. Who would have thunk it that you'd be learning English from Kiss songs? Well, folks, a kiss goodbye, and thank you so much for being here today and every day. I want you guys to strut with your English. Pavonea con ese inglés. Yeah! Come on. Bring in the pyrotechnics. About her. Ciao, folks.